Capture 20. The neighbors. To protect our border against the undead and escaper, we construct parallel to the zombie slaying around Germany walls, fences and ditches. We want to free at first our country from the plague and protect us about more danger before we help our neighbors. But at first we have a lot to do to get totally rid of the zombies. The whole summer we have to fight against big and small zombie groups. Our borderlines were not totally closed, and we can't stop the arrival of more undead. There were not very much, but we can't see an end. That's changed in the cold of the winter, and we get the chance to win. Overnight Frosty comes, and the zombie can't move anymore. At the beginning of the winter the undead warmed up at the day, but after the temperatures fall under zero also at the days, all become easier. The Walking Dead can't move, and we were able to cut them very easy in pieces and bury them under the ground. At the beginning we have massive problems to cut a frozen corpse in pieces. But with circle and chainsaws it was easy to do our work and all speed up. Only the digging of great holes was a problem. With air hammer and bulldozers we need a little bit more time to dig out holes. But after the first layer of earth was removed, the dirt get weaker and we produce big graves. We cut and buried in crazy speed zombies. Also our problems with the borderline walker were solved in the winter. Frozen zombies can't move, and so their number can't increase anymore in Germany. After approximate 7 months after the first appearance of the undead, we get totally rid of the plague. Now we have time and the possibility to help our neighbors. We have to, because if we didn't help to slay the zombies, they will overrun us after they are finished the rest of the world. We have no choice, we must help them. Sam and Fino had so much fun to slay a walking stinker that they won't stop to fight. Finally their martial arts exercises were not wasted. Nobody was better at a zombie fight than these both vampires. For that reason they join in a group who want to go to France. Sam and Fino helped the French very good to cut zombies, as they met suddenly an old working colleague. He was a kind of hippie with hair formed like dreadlocks, or how look like shitlocks. This asshole believes on all esoteric nonsense from the healing force of stones to the other kind of bullshit. He really believed that if he draws special crystals into water, they change the energy field of water. What for a shit. How should crystals in the lower state of energy change the energy of water? If they only change the temperature, and that is not measurable, if the crystals are not very cold or very hot, then it is totally bullshit. By the way, he drank also full moon water, filled up if the moon is rising full. It is a cool idea to sell water, but also totally stupid. Such ridiculous views come every time out of his mouth with a great conviction. But that was not the only one. He nerved his companions. It doesn't matter what have to be done in the company, he have to get involved every time. He loved to play police in the company, know everything about all, but he was an idiot and thought the company was his. His work was not only ridiculous, it was also very pitiful and wrong. That all were not so bad if he didn't be so insulting. He calls Fino and Sam sometimes spastic, handicapped, or simply dumb. The truth was reverse, and totally the opposite. He nerved the most with his attitude that he only wants to help. Like the Americans, he hides behind the cover of goodness, although he hates the Americans too. This DJ of folk music called Raphael made the life of the vampires hard for a long time. They didn't want to lose their jobs, and they have to keep the secret of the vampire existence. Sam and Fino can't fight against him physically, but they were able to fight verbal. Sometimes it works, because they get help from their chief. But now he was a zombie, and the old rules didn't count. They were the best wasters of undead garbage. For this special guy, they need a lot of time. He didn't keep his mouth as a dead, although he only make animal noise. They hit his teeth out with a baseball bat. With that they don't get all. Fino let him fall to the ground and sit on his torso. He fixed the arms of the former colleague with his feet. The wild moving zombie tried to bite Fino into his legs. But without front teeth and the great distance to Fino's legs, it was impossible. In the meantime, Sam comes with a nipper to Fino and take the rest of the teeth. Because he was still in the mouth, he extracted the tongue with a scissor and the nipper. After he finished his work, Sam hit the scissor in the head of the former colleague. He want to let it there, but Fino give him the advice to cut also his hair. Sam was much pleasured about that idea and wants to see him without his shit-fucking shitlocks. Finally cut the hated shit-fucking shitlocks from that asshole. From the first day he saw this ugly guy, he wanted to burn him down. He was a wanker and deserved it. For that reason, he takes the scissor out with force and starts to cut his hair. Suddenly Raphael starts to talk, if we can call it talk without teeth and tongue. Both vampires were scared almost to death. What for bullshit, they were still deaf. Okay, we say they were scared very badly. That's better. But after a few seconds later, they remember about a story of Maurice and what was written in Merlin's book. Why he was able to speak again like a human, they didn't care. On the contrary, now they were able to get the best revenge ever. If the object of your hate didn't feel pain, the fun is less. Under protest, Sam cut the hair of the dirtbag. After they were finished, they let the dead get up. He walks at once to the next car mirror and look at himself. It seems that he didn't realize that he were dead. Only his haircut was from interest. After he lost his interest, he gets angry and runs to the vampires. Both bloodsuckers want of course as much fun with him as they could. In the moment he attacked Sam and tried to scratch his face, the master of martial art takes his stick of steel and breaks him both arms with one hit. The walking stinker screams at once in pain and asks, "Why you do this to me?" Fino didn't make many words and explained him very short the reasons of their revenge. Without any discussion, the zombie tried to run away. He looked like a jumping jack, like he really was in principle. Now he looks like someone who can't escape. For Fino it was so funny that he lay on the ground and hold his tummy and laughed he never laughed before. During the zombie colleague fall in pain on the ground and had great problems to escape. After a few minutes the pain became weaker and he stand up and tried to kick Fino. The vampire had no problem with that. He let kick him and sometimes he smashed his shin against the zombie head to show him the right technique. We can't say that he learned how it works, but that doesn't matter in the meantime. After a few minutes Fino become bored and he take his sword and cut the legs of the ex-colleague. Now he lies on the ground and can't move. With the new giant wound he screams in pain as loud as he can. Sam won't hear that loud noise and come closer to the body. Before the in pain screaming ex-colleague can say anything, Sam kicked the head of the hated more than once with his heel. From kick to kick the head of the shaking undead becomes smashed into the ground, and the screams disappear slowly. After he was finished and the head looks like a bloody mud in the dirt, the vampire couldn't do anything with him. He wasn't able to scream or show pain in any kind. The whole body shake uncontrolled without a known system. For that reason they covered the piece of shit with petrol and lighting him up. They know that the spell get free and invade another dead. But they didn't care. The hate of the vampire burns hotter than a fire can ever burn. In the fire it looks like sometimes that extremities shake stronger than before. But they can't be sure about it. His head and brain was smashed and burned faster than the rest. After a few minutes the whole event come to an end and they can continue their way. For the whole action, the human group didn't see anything after they discovered the ex-colleague. The vampire sent them to search for food. Sam and Fino were totally alone with him and get the best revenge ever.